Okay, this video is going to go through the process of updating the software on the SurePoint Sentinel 1000 and 2000 model rate controllers. Before you begin, you're going to need to obtain a Sentinel ECU programming kit from SurePoint. Consists of the cables you see there. Also available through the product support toolkit, which contains a number of different items as well. Part numbers, you can see the ECU programming kit. Again, all available on the web store at store.surepointag.com. Okay, next step is going to be to go ahead and go to support.surepointag.com. If you haven't done so already, you're going to need to log in. If you don't have a login, in the upper right hand corner there will be a requested dealer access button there that you can go ahead and get that process started as well. Once we've achieved a login here, I'm going to go ahead and navigate to our Sentinel software page, and to do so I'm going to just go in through application systems, liquid app systems, and then select on my controllers and manuals related, and I'm going to go to Sentinel Row monitoring, so this guy right here, and then you'll see that I have software updates available. If I expand on this guy, you'll see that we have current versions of software as individual software packages down here. These are likely going to change over time. Current software version is 1.5.0. For today, what we're going to be looking for is the Sentinel Gen 2 ECU updater, which is what we're going to be using. In order to get that started, I'm going to go ahead and click on that Gen 2 ECU updater and go ahead and initiate that download. For the purpose of simplicity and being able to find this guy, I'm going to go ahead and put this on my desktop on my computer. You'll notice that it is going to be saving it as a compressed or a zipped file. We will have to unload that here after we get that downloaded. So because I'm putting this on my desktop, I'm going to create a new folder, and I'm just going to call that my Sentinel ECU programmer. And we're going to open that guy up and save that file in that file. So go ahead and hit save. Okay, you can see that the Sentinel ECU programmer file is now on my desktop. I'm going to go ahead and double click on that guy to open that up. Once that file is open, I can see that my Sentinel ECU updater file here has been downloaded. And as I click on that, you'll notice again that that is a compressed or a zipped file. I get these compressed folder tools up here. If I click on this, what I'm going to do is I'm going to extract those files into another folder. So I'm going to go ahead and hit extract all. And this pop-up here is going to come up and it's going to say, hey, where would you like to extract those files to? Where do you want to save those? I'm going to browse out, and I'm going to go into my desktop once again and see if I can find my ECU updater, my programmer file that I had there. And I'm just going to go ahead and unload those or unpackage those, unzip those into that same file. However, before I do that, inside that, I'm going to go ahead and make me a new folder so that I know where all these are. And I'm going to call this unzipped. This is a personal preference thing, just so that I know where these guys are going to be at. And I'm going to select that folder and go ahead and extract. Okay, so that process of extraction took maybe 15 to 30 seconds, something like that. And now I can see that my folder here has been created. And if I open that up, all the files that were compressed prior are now available to open up in this folder. So I'm going to go ahead and open up that Sentinel updater, and then you'll see that there are two different file types here, one for the Sentinel 1000 ECU, that is the smaller of the two, and then the Sentinel 2000 ECU, that's the fully loaded larger ECU. So here's a kind of a little bit of a caveat to this, and one that's very, very important. What we need to do is we're going to take this file right here and we are going to save it to our C drive on our computer. Let me show you how to do that. Okay, what I've done here is I've essentially hidden some of my personal files there, but you can see that in my File Explorer I have an OSC drive right here. This is the hard drive of the computer, and I want to take and I'm gonna use the Sentinel 2000 updating software. That's the one that I'm using, and I'm gonna take that guy and I'm just gonna drag it to that C drive and drop that dude in there. Now that the file has been moved, if I open up my C drive, you'll be able to see there's my Sentinel 2000 in my C drive in File Explorer. Okay, at this point, I'm going to go ahead and navigate back. I can hit my back arrows here to go back to where I was, or I could go back and hunt down the desktop and find the Sentinel ECU updater package. I'm going to go ahead and open up my ECU updater at this point. So click this guy, open that up, and then you're going to find an ECU updater. That's an application. We're going to open that guy up as well. This is a common window that you're going to get. Your Windows has protected your PC. It's going to prevent that application from opening. In order to circumvent this, we're going to go ahead and hit more info, and we're going to just tell it to run anyway. Okay, so you'll see the ECU updater has now popped up on your screen there, and what we need to do is we need to go find that file that we saved. So I'm going to go to select file, and if you recall, we saved it in the C drive, so I'm going to click on my C drive here, navigate down, there's my Sentinel 2000 file, and I'm going to select that update file right there. So at this point, you should get that file that loads right here if you follow that procedure. If you fail to save that to the C drive, a common thing that you might see is a warning that pops up and says, hey, you need to save that file to the desktop or your documents folder. Best practice is going to be saving it in the C drive, just as you've seen in this video, and that will work for you. Okay, now that you've got your software ready to push onto your ECU, we're going to look at locating this programming port here on the main ECU harness. And so we're going to find that guy, and there is a dust cap on the end here. Don't lose that. You're going to want to replace it. And then we're going to go ahead and plug in the 4-pin Deutsch that's on our programming cables mentioned earlier into this guy, and then the other end of your programming cable is going to go to your USB drive on your computer. So one thing to note here is as we get ready to push this software to our ECU, that ECU does need to be powered up and on your display in the cab. So that we can go ahead and initiate this this software push. One thing you'll notice here on my screen is I am updating a Sentinel 1000 today, and so I have selected a different file. That file does have to be accurate based off of which ECU you are trying to update. Same conditions apply for the Sentinel 1000 versus the Sentinel 2000 software package. I've just simply saved that Sentinel 1000 software package in my C drive and selected that file here, so I'm ready to update. My cables are hooked up, my ECU is powered up. At this point, I'm just going to go ahead and hit update. Okay, we've had probably 3 to 4 minutes of time elapse here, and we've now got this pop-up here that says controller successfully updated. Our next step is going to be to go up in the cab and double check and make sure that the software is current on that ECU. So up in the cab here, we can see that the version of the software that we have here is the 150, which matches the same software that we're looking to push to this guy. And so we know that the update has been successful. Okay, so now that you've successfully updated your ECU, just a couple of things to note here is previously you downloaded the updater, which included the 1.5.0 software. At some point in the future, you may find those individual software files available for download, as you kind of see down here, so that you don't have to go ahead and download that entire updater. Secondly, if you have any issues with that ECU coming back up on the screen following a download or pushing that software to the ECU, simply try to reboot your display in the cab, repower the ECU, and you should see that ECU go ahead and repopulate in your virtual terminal.